time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
12:02 on a Wednesday, and that means it is time for another Oil Stream. Thank you very much for being here. Tommy Gazzola, how you doing, buddy?
Great. Recovered after that
have you recovered?
epic draft that we had today. That was so much fun.
Yeah, if you missed it, let's say, well, if you're watching live, obviously, I mean, many of you probably watched the draft today on the Hangout. If not, or if you're listening live, we highly suggest you check it out. That'll be available obviously on YouTube. You can go get it on YouTube. If you missed it live, you will be able to find it on the podcast of the Hangout, which will be up here right away. And, yeah, it was fun, man.
That was good.
It was fun. I will say, if Lieutenant Eric ends up getting the sympathy vote for actually picking somebody who wasn't a coach, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand that. What's the point of doing a draft if somebody who picks a coach wins the draft, picks a guy who's not coach, wins the draft? I just don't get it.
You know, I saw the chants and the texts and the posts that said justice for LTE. Part of me thinks that that is the same mindset as those kids in school, elementary, junior high, hopefully not high school, that when things were getting out of hand in class, they would just start yelling.
Okay.
Just to add to the noise.
Oh, yeah, because everybody else is yelling.
Yeah. Like no purpose to it outside of chaos. That's what I equate it to.
It's a pretty good comparison.
Thank you.
I do think that we have excellent potential with those drafts, though. Like it was
fun. It was awesome.
That was pretty good today. That was a lot of fun. It's just nice to not be rushed. Like we just got to sit. I don't know how we ever did these things properly in an hour.
We were quick. We were pretty quick about. Remember we had like the ticker and
and then the breaks and stuff, and like it used to be kind of a sloppy mess at the old place, but now it's absolutely it's perfect. It's gonna get better too.
It was awesome.
So watch for that. That should be posted. I think Maddie's almost ready to post it. Yeah. So you'll be able to go and vote on the Edmonton Sports Talk account, and we will crown a champion in our first EST draft. But there'll be more drafts along the way. Breaking news here on the Oil Stream right now: Adam Erne clears waivers. Are you stunned?
Yes, and by that I mean no, 100% no. No, I didn't know that they were, and I said this on the Oil Stream I think on Monday. I didn't think that they were going to jump to make this move right away, and people were pointing out that on Sunday he played around 3.5 minutes. I get that. And then, just talking to people within the organization yesterday, they're like, well, he hasn't really done anything.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say.
I acknowledge that.
Nobody can argue that. He's done nothing.
Yeah.
Now, there's other guys in the bottom six who also haven't done anything, so it's not just him.
Yeah.
So was this more of a when Gagner's ready, he's back up thing? Or was it more, and Sam, I think, 5 points in 3 games or something in Baco?
A goal and 4 assists in 3 games.
So that's nice. Good for him.
Yeah.
Or was it we got to get rid of this guy, we got to get him down there, do you think? Which way was it?
Well, Sam, they like. I thought Sam, they would wait. But if his body's good and he's ready to go, then, yeah, we'll see him.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if it was maybe forced to be a little bit earlier just because Erne was doing nothing.
Yeah, and I texted you yesterday. I was told that it's not going to be Lavoie, and I think we know that, right?
Yeah.
Discussed yesterday, so. Something different. If you're going to have a guy that is only playing a handful of minutes a night, do you prefer someone who's just skating around and maybe throwing a hit, or do you want somebody who you think might give you a little bit of something, and maybe they believe in Sam doing that more so than Erne? And I'd give Sam the benefit of the doubt over Adam Erne, to be honest with you. When they announced, I knew and had heard Erne was on the radar for PTO, but I didn't think that he was the guy that would win that job.
That would get the deal, yeah.
It was reiterated to me that if Sutter was in better health and his body responded better and he was able to kind of start working towards being a little bit of the Brandon Sutter from years past, that would have been the go-to guy. It obviously didn't work after a couple of games. And Erne did provide jam in the preseason. But Lavoie, you could make the argument, was better as well. But Lavoie's going to play. And I know people want to see him up right now. He's going to get his chance at some point. If this team had room for 22 or 23,
he'd be an
roster,
NHL
he would
right
be
now,
on this team. There's no denying that. And I stand by it. He will play this year.
It is crazy to think that other teams can just move forwards in and out of the lineup. You know, like it's that's such a luxury for some of these teams.
We're
Like,
talking about a team that started the season opening night with an 11-6 roster.
yeah, like imagine if the Oilers had 14 forwards on the roster and you could actually have somebody come in when a guy's struggling as opposed to just having to leave him in the lineup and then dial his ice time back to 3 minutes.
Right.
You know, it's
like and no,
I don't think we talk enough about, like, for an organization, the bottom six has been absolute garbage this year.
hasn't done anything.
And they literally can't do anything about it because they don't have any other roster players.
I know, and that's part of our conversation that we had on Monday. It was like, could you see this? How about this Connor Brown idea? They're not going to do the Connor Brown idea. They want Connor Brown to start playing better. I thought he was better in the Heritage Classic. Was he great? No. But it just looked like, oh, okay, he's moving his feet, going in the right direction, taking pucks to the net. At some point, he's going to have to start creating offense, obviously. Hasn't happened yet. But you're right. Like, it is. There was a time, even late last season, where there was competition within the team to be in the starting 12 or 11, depending if they decided to go 11-7 or 12-6. That doesn't exist. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's gone.
No threat of someone taking your spot the next game if you play like crap.
If you play like crap, guess what? You just play a little bit less like crap next game.
Yeah. I'll be fine next game. I know they can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's the way you could.
That's a horrible mindset, though.
You don't want to think that way, and trust me, I don't think that they consciously do. But we all have the little devil on our shoulder and our subconsciouses that kick in, and you're like, "Oh, I'll play next game, no problem."
There's always, I would think this is just naturally. This doesn't have to just be the Oilers. It doesn't just have to be hockey. It doesn't just have to be sports. But if there's a legitimate threat of somebody taking your job, you will try a little bit harder than if you're semi on cruise control and there's no threat of somebody taking your job. And with the cap situation that they put themselves in, now that Ernie's down and Sam Gagner's up, there's really not a threat of anybody being able to take your job, even if it's for a couple of games here or there. It's interesting. It's I wonder how much that kind of drives it. We were asked this. Oh, quickly on Raphael Lavoie. We talked about this on the Nielson show this morning, which seems like forever ago now. After you do a draft and the lock shop now in the Oil Stream. Is that one when he's playing extremely well? He's fighting. Like, he's doing everything you could possibly do to get a call up. Is that one where you have to have the coach or somebody just give him a call and be like, hey, man, it's coming. Like, don't worry about it. Like, not that you have to sit there and baby him, but I feel like just like hey, dude, we recognize what you're doing. Yeah. Keep doing it. You're going to be up here at some point.
And when
as opposed to just ignoring him and being like, Sam's up, and don't say anything to him. It would be weird to me.
And the difference between calling up Gagner over Lavoie is you can put Gagner into the bottom six, and he could just exist there, right?
Yeah.
If you're putting Lavoie, or you're calling Lavoie up and you're putting him into the bottom six, we're expecting, we collectively, media, the team, the fan base, want to see something from him. And say you're calling him up and he finally gets that chance, but he plays 7 minutes. No special teams time. Is he developing? Is he getting better? Is he actually becoming an NHLer? Unless he goes out and just is like a guy that's shot out of a cannon and takes those 7 minutes and gets a huge hit, creates havoc in front, does all the right things, and maybe if he gets lucky, score a goal or pick up an assist, create offense, and he forces the coaching staff to move him up the roster. I'd like to see that. I think that would be a good sign of a player taking the next step. And the fact that he's having that fight, he had the Gordie Howe hat trick, he's scoring, all that stuff is great. But just usually when they call these guys up who are playing well in the minors, they don't really put them in a position to succeed. And I think that the Oilers' intention is, when they call Lavoie up, is to put him in a spot where it plays to his strengths, so he's not a fourth liner and getting 7 minutes of just don't get crushed in your own zone time. You know what I mean? Like, you could do that with Gagner. You could say, you're a veteran, you should be able to know the tricks of the trade to tilt the ice in the NHL. You've been around for so long. Whereas Lavoie, it's new, it's fresh to him. You want him probably in the top 9 and playing more than 10 minutes and actually being able to play to his strength. So I think that's part of the mindset, too. I think we're going to see Lavoie at some point.
You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, or you can hit us up in the nasty chat. Lots of comments over there. Glenn got to one and says, I'm glad Lavoie did not go down and pout. He's been one of the best players down there and making it hard not to notice him. I agree with Tom. He'll be up here at some point this year. And the doc says, calling up Gagner may have also been a way to protect a young player from the criticisms of a very poor start to the season.
Yep.
Sammy can handle some of that pressure as well.
Good point.
Well, I was going to ask, and let's go here. Your expectations for Sam Gagner coming in here. Asked Gazdick earlier today, and I don't think Gazdick really sort of had an answer on what you'd expect. We haven't seen him play in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And Bone on Twitter says likely 5 to 7 minutes of ice time per game. Typically doesn't kill penalty kills. Not a lot of production based on Jay's history of ice time allocation. I love Gagner, but I'm not sure he moves the needle this year at all. Now, with that being said, I'm not sure anybody's expecting him to be a needle mover anyway.
No.
But what are fair expectations for Sam Gagner? Like, let's say in 10 games, actually maybe him playing in 10 games is fair expectations for Sam Gagner. We don't know if this is going to work at all. So what are your expectations for him?
Reasonable in his own zone. Amalgamate to this box +1 zone defense, which was still being incorporated. Just be seamless. And then the bar set pretty low by Adam Erne in terms of...
Yeah, that's true.
Can you give more than Adam Erne? I think the answer should be yes, and it shouldn't take a ton. I think Sam Gagner obviously has more clout here too. I don't know. If he can get creative when the puck does get into the offensive zone and create and generate some scoring opportunities... if he could just play a solid 200-foot game, basically in straight lines and keep it simple. And then, again, I think Sam being Sam, knowing the National Hockey League, he has a tendency to do that. Even in Winnipeg, he didn't put up big numbers, but like when he was out there and he got the puck on his stick in the offensive zone, he was doing something with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of what he's going to have to do. Like, Sam Gagner doesn't have to go out there and all of a sudden start banging bodies and stirring crap up and being that guy. That's not him.
But he can a little bit.
He can.
He
mix.
can do that a little bit, right?
I mean, that fight in Calgary.
Yeah.
I think a couple of years ago, I think Sam Gagner was like one of the guys digging at, was it Cam Talbot or like he was. He's
yeah. No,
around
I would love
there
to see Sam Gagner's like chippiness in a pinch rub off on Ryan McLeod.
Sure.
Like if Sam can be like, hey man, I was a little bit. Not even McLeod's a smaller dude, but like
no, he's not.
He's like 6'3".
Tall.
Like he needs to somehow get involved
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah.
And if Sam can teach him how to play with even just a little bit of edge at once in a while, maybe that ends up making a difference.
And I mean this is part of it too. And people are very happy after that win on Sunday, which they should be. That was great. Again, such a good night all around. But Gagner has clout in that room, too, and he's highly regarded, well-respected, the management team, the coaching staff, and that brings a little bit to the table. And guys a young guy like a McLeod or a Dylan Holloway who grew up watching Sam Gagner, they could watch it. They could be like, this is my teammate. Like, if he's doing that and he's one of the smaller guys on the team, if Sam Gagner is going out there and, getting in there, mucking it up and sacrificing his body just for a scoring, stuff like that, or sacrificing defensively. If they see him do it, that means they should be doing it too, those younger guys. And through osmosis, that does permeate. So those things I think Sam Gagner could bring to the table. And if he could be a shoulder to lean on or could provide advice to these guys, that's perfect. And that gives him a leg up on Adam Erne, who can be a thorn in the side of teams and play like a jerk out there, but really was mostly ineffective in his early tenure as a member of the Oilers organization.
As always, portions of the Oil Stream are brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, obviously the studio sponsor here at Edmonton Sports Talk. And, if you're looking to get your hands on something delicious, it is the Ghost Pepper Chicken Sandwich. Obviously something that they absolutely adore over there, and you should as well. Game changer on the menu at all Popeyes Louisiana kitchen locations. You can get on DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, and Uber Eats. The promotion on the Ghost Pepper Chicken Sandwich will run until November 19th. It's a spicy kick of ghost pepper mayo spread on a buttery brioche bun with a juicy chicken breast and 2 crunchy pickles. What's Rocky Balboa think of that? Sorry, man.
Oh, I can't.
Say it's delicious.
Hey, yo, sounds delicious.
That might actually be the best. If you missed it on the draft today, Tommy dropped a Rocky Balboa impression, and we've been having some fun with it ever since. I will say this. You do your mom way better.
Well, I mean, I grew up with her.
What does your mom think of Rocky Balboa?
Oh, what is that, Tommy?
And what does Rocky think of your mom?
Hey, who's that? Who's that lady?
Oh, dude. That's too funny. You need to start wearing those little black gloves like Rock would wear. And Rocky is
no
walking around. Yeah, with the no
yeah.
fingertips.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Anyway, if you're looking for lunch, maybe you're watching during lunch, and you don't even have to leave your office or your home or wherever you're watching or listening from. You can just go and order a ghost pepper chicken sandwich and have it delivered right to you. They've also got the strawberry cream cheese fried pies still ongoing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That sounds good.
Was that for that? Oh, I thought you saw something on your computer and you're like, oh.
No.
Saw Sam
Pie
Gagner.
sounds amazing.
Sam Gagner led the stretch, eh?
Yes.
No big deal?
That's a good sign. Shoggy tweeted it out. That's a good sign.
You know what? I will say this. Shoggy, I guess it was on our show Monday, in which he couldn't connect on video despite being a huge tech guy. He called in, and he said, I usually don't care too much about outfits and stuff. That's Tommy running around talking about the uniforms all the time. You know what Shoggy does love?
Tell me.
Shots of people leading stretches.
He is
like
big into that.
He is full-blown leading the stretch photo guy.
He is.
Nobody tweets out more leading the stretch photos than Ryan Rashad.
True. And
I'm just saying, everybody falls into their category. Shoggy's best at tweeting photos of leading the stretch.
Yesterday at the rink, watching practice, Stoff was talking about the Heritage Classic, and he's like, what jerseys are the Oilers wearing right now, Tom? Because they're going to wear their alternate jerseys tomorrow. There's a jersey schedule, by the way, as Tony Barr and I found out that the Oilers have on their website, so you can see which jersey they're going to wear.
There you go, right on the website.
Game.
There you go.
And I was like, they're wearing their Navy alternates. He goes, so is this a new one? I'm like, no, Bob. They've had these jerseys for like 4 or 5 seasons
Bob
now.
knows.
He
just
doesn't.
toying with you?
He doesn't. No. And then
No?
he's like, well, you're known as the jersey guy. I was like, thanks.
Are you doing Stoff or Rocky right now?
That's kind of Stoffer.
Yeah, okay. All right.
You're known as the jersey guy. I'm like, yeah, that's it, huh? He's like, well, sorry. It's just, you are. I'm like, then what? In my head, I'm like, what do you
Well, I
Bob?
do say this. You are best at jersey stuff.
I love jerseys.
Yeah.
I love them. It's like an obscure fascination I've had in sports since I was a kid. Uniforms. Dave Jamieson and I always discuss football uniforms, hockey uniforms, baseball uniforms. Basketball is a bit different. Basketball, although I respect the amount of uniforms there were. And soccer, I just kind of, it's like, you're getting something new every year. But yeah, I do like them, but it's not just the jersey thing. But Bob's like, well, that's your thing. It's your jerseys. I was like, because I tweeted out a picture of Stu Skinner's Navy alternate goalie pads that he was breaking in yesterday. Jack Campbell, for those that are going to ask, is not wearing different pads.
You're goalie pad guy.
I love goalie pad guy.
Goalie pad guy.
And Jack Campbell, I think, had a new mask as well, so that was cool.
What?
Yeah.
That's nice. I
They're
love
all
masks.
nice.
I'm goalie mask guy.
Yeah.
I used to draw goalie masks in school.
Oh, it was so cool.
Watch this. I'll draw the. You can text us 780-218-9999. Let's see if I still. That's my draft list. Are you still trying to look at my draft list?
I won this thing.
No, you didn't. I'm going to win it. My top 3 for the open category were Mr. Miyagi, Mick from Rocky, and Ted Lasso. And I got every single one of them. And I got the best hockey coach. And I think I got the best baseball manager in Lou Brown from Major League, too. So
I have, was it Ushiyama?
Yeah. You're pretty excited for that baseball.
Baseball,
From
yeah.
Mr. Baseball.
It's an
he was
obscure
high on
pick.
some of those lists where you looked. I was just like, I didn't really know it too much. Not a big Mr. Baseball guy.
It was like he was teaching him how to swing.
I was going to draw a goalie mask here for you.
Please do.
Let's see if I still have it. I don't remember.
I'm sure you do.
I don't remember if I have it
Start with
still.
the cage.
No, I start like it'll be like.
Interesting.
This isn't gonna work at all.
I don't know. It looks like a cube.
No. That's just supposed to be the back, right? So I never start with the cage. I would go.
You start with the back.
It's been a while since I drew.
There you go.
Since I drew a goalie mask.
Yeah. Oh, you do the profile of the goalie mask.
No, and then I tuck it up like this.
Hmm.
What do you think of this right now?
It's like a side angle.
Yeah.
It looks like to those that are listening on our audio stream and on TuneIn, thank you. What it looks like is if you ever played a video game, a hockey video game.
Can't see it. It's too far away.
On PlayStation 1 or Nintendo 64, you would have seen this on Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey.
Okay, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm not a great artist.
Very primitive graphics. Polygons.
Very, very primitive graphics. Come on, man. I'm trying to.
I mean, I admire
I
your
guess
effort.
you don't do Rocky impressions and I don't draw goalie masks
Give me your pen. I'll do a goalie mask.
You're going to draw a goalie mask?
Fire away some.
Okay, I'll get to some messages here. There's a blank piece of paper. And take this pen.
Give me that pen.
So Tommy's going to draw a goalie mask now.
Yeah,
we'll have to get Maddie to come in and show the goalie mask up on the screen. This text says Sam will lead the bottom 5 guys in points after the first game.
That's not hard.
Probably.
It's like
I mean,
one
if
or
you get
2
one.
points.
Derek Ryan is the only bottom 6 forward that has a point on this team. Don't say Fogle. Fogle's basically been elevated since almost the very beginning.
That's true.
So Derek Ryan has an assist. Ryan McLeod can't even get a shot on net every single game.
No.
Holloway's got nothing yet.
Yeah.
Brown's got nothing yet. Your boy Janmark has
got a
zero
bad wing.
offensive finishability. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's hard. I'm not going to disagree with you on your text message, 780-218-9999. But, yeah, he probably will.
Not hard. It could happen in a shift.
Tom becoming impression guy is my favorite thing from today. That's in from RCN.
Thanks, RCN.
It is something that we didn't expect to come out of the draft. Tommy all of a sudden becoming, man, I should have drawn them like that as a kid.
Yeah, man.
That's so much easier. That's just a forward on look.
Yeah.
It's a little fat, like it's a little wide.
A little wide, but I mean, you can tighten it up.
That's a nice looking mask,
Thanks.
though. I think mine is a little fancier, though. I'm gonna draw mine next to yours.
Sure.
And then we'll see what people say here. I'll just do it quickly. I'm rusty though, right? Like
I haven't drawn a goalie mask in 20 years.
You're lying right now.
I'm not lying.
I think you're lying.
It's a very simple concept.
Oh, this one's looking better now, man. I'm liking how this one looks.
I don't know.
See, I got like 3D. Yours is straight on. Mine's like a 3D mask. It looks way cooler. Let me bring this up here.
I'd argue that it doesn't.
Come down here, bottom.
Carmen says Connor Brown should not be waived. He will score next game, I promise, says Carmen.
We're going to get into the Connor Brown discussion. I know it was tagged as the title. I think Maddie came up with that title.
Okay, here we go. Here's the goalie mask thing. Chris says, Dusty goalie mask, JPEGs in the Nasty Club. So
Tommy's is a straightaway one.
Yeah, mine's straight away.
And mine is
the profile.
Sideways profile shot.
Yeah. What say you?
There's a lot of room to design things on mine, like right here. Look at this. Now you can do the whole top and bottom.
Yeah. No. And
what do you like, straight on or profile?
yeah. So the doc says, very glad you guys now have a visual medium for the show because I would be screaming at my radio, dying to know what these look like. Yeah. They look amazing. They're true art by two simple guys who like goalie masks.
I think we're pretty good at drawing goalie masks. Maybe we can be goalie mask drawing guys.
Todd McFarlane, we are not.
Yeah, clearly.
Jerry Mancini says Tommy wins. Thanks,
what? If you combine your mask and my mask somehow, that's a really good looking mask.
That's worlds colliding.
Yeah.
Both look good, says Jerry, though.
Oh, yeah. See, thank you, Jerry. Both
Dylan says Dusty's looks kind of like a welding mask with an LOL.
See, now, I wouldn't. That's not what I'm drawing my inspiration on.
Yeah.
Simply because
but like
I don't
know
what a welding mask looks like.
You don't have a back plate on yours.
Yeah, I do.
No, it's just a square.
Oh, you're putting in the back plate.
The back plate. Right?
Wow, you're a real
There's a chin
stickler
strap,
here, eh?
And then you're missing a bottom bar. And you're missing like the other angle in 3D, right? Like, look. And then usually there's like another ridge over here. Look,
I want to.
I enhanced yours. I've enhanced it.
Yeah, a little bit. I will say you're slightly better at drawing goalie masks than me. Yeah.
There's not many things in this life that catch my attention the way goalie masks do, evidently.
You may have chosen the wrong career, Dusty. See?
How about Tube Socks, who's an artist?
Yeah.
Saying they're both ellipses, amazing.
It's good.
I think the double ellipses really
That's important.
tells us how
we don't get lots of double ellipses here. Sorry to everybody listening right now.
Yeah.
You know what we'll do for everybody listening? I'll take out a picture. I think I'll take a picture of
And
it.
then you can see my enhancements.
And then what we'll do is we'll put it on Twitter and we'll say, who draws the better goalie masks, Dusty or Tommy? That'll come out a little bit later on.
Right.
All right, so it is the whole Connor Brown thing.
Yeah.
It's a discussion because of the fact that you're going to get hit with these cap overages next year.
Yeah.
And it's not ideal when he literally hasn't produced anything just yet. He's done some because I know his analytics have been really good so far. And of course, analytics, if they're for a Finnish player, don't matter. But for this player, they do.
If someone threw a war chart at me from Connor Brown and said, you know what, his underlying numbers are good, I'd be like, take that thing and burn it.
You would burn it.
He's done nothing.
He really hasn't.
And
He does have 12 shots on goal, which is way more than McLeod and Ryan and everybody else. I will give him that.
Good point. But it has resulted in diddly squat. Until you start getting results, and I'll say, I think his best game was last game in the Heritage, where he was playing with, as Matt Cassian likes to say, intentionality, and he was going to the right areas. He, among many others, had probably their best game of the season through 8. He's -5. Like you said, he's got his 11 shots this year. And he's averaging 15:36 time on ice. He should have more than that.
Playing 15 and a half minutes, man. You got to have more than that.
This is not
like you've been getting 9 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you've been in the league. I'll give him a 5-game grace period, which we're obviously far past for his knees and stuff. You're still, at that point as a veteran, getting 15 minutes a night, you still should be on the ice for some goals for. And you can't be blaming and pointing the fingers at the other guys. You're the veteran on that line most nights. You need to be helping the young guys out.
Okay,
now it's go time for Connor Brown.
So I would agree with that. Where do we come up? I see some people saying if you waive him, you'll regret it. I don't think you regret it. Nobody claims him.
No.
I don't think anybody claims him. So could you not? Could he not be getting up to speed down in the American League? Are you worried about?
Okay, well maybe.
So let's say you bring up Raphael Lavoie, send Brown down before the 10 games, and maybe it really starts to click. You're like, okay, he's going, bring him back, boom. Now it sounds crazy to say this because he is a legitimate NHLer.
Yes.
This is
No
not
question.
some guy that has only played 40 games over 9 years. Brown is a legitimate NHLer.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting this. I would ride it out. You've made this bed. You're gonna have to pay him anyway.
Yeah.
I would ride it out. I know some fans will be pissed off like that. I know some other people will be like, I wouldn't term it riding it out. He's going to click. So far he hasn't produced anything. Ride it out. I think it'll come. It's not going to get to the level where we're like, this guy could score 25 playing with Connor McDavid. I do think, I said this on our show this morning, I do think he's back in the top 6 by the end of November. So
I think 40 points is still within reason as well.
Fogel's not going to lock down a spot forever in the top 6. And if he does, then that's a detriment to everybody else that's in the bottom 6 trying to. Now, Fogel's been great so far. Yeah. But I do think the window's still there for Connor Brown to be back up in that spot, Tommy. But I'm just asking, is it logistically possible to send him down, he clears waivers, plays for a bit, continues to get up to speed? Could they do that for everybody who's like, get rid of this guy?
Yeah.
Could you buy some time if you want it?
I think this 10-game bonus window discussion is more so on the fan side. I don't think that's the intention
it's not
whatsoever.
A factor at all with the team.
He's
there,
has
right?
a longer leash.
They're not waiving him.
No.
Yeah.
Now, could they, in theory, send him down for a conditioning stint if this is still really bad by game 15? Perhaps they look at that. But if they don't, if they see incremental growth in game 8 in the Heritage was the start of that, then they'll probably just let him ride it out and see where he goes and how he can handle this.
Well,
but it hasn't been great.
That's what we have to figure out, right? Is that last game, Calgary's awful. Calgary sucks. Like,
they're not a good team.
How much can you read it? It's a special outdoor game. Let's see what happens against Dallas. Yeah. Maybe Connor Brown takes another little step in the right direction. And you're like, okay, maybe bump him up, let him play a little bit. Maybe they are a train wreck in their own end again. Like we don't know what they're going to look like against the Dallas Stars. All I know is that I don't want to put too much into one game outdoors versus a horse, Calgary Flames team.
Right. I was just reading a great article over at Sportsnet about, it was a breakdown of the Oilers and their zone defense and how it can work. And, who's the guy? Who's the guy from Sportsnet?
Mark Spector.
No, it wasn't Spector. No. Former player, Justin Bourne.
Oh, Bourne, yeah.
So Bourne did a thing with a former video coach who became an assistant coach with the Leafs, and Brew is the guy's name. I have his full name here. Andrew Brewer. And Andrew Brewer did a nice breakdown with video clips to support what the Oilers are doing. And so this also reiterates what Matt Cassian was saying post-game on Sunday when we were talking about the systems looking different and them trying to get away from the zone. And we're like, no, we didn't see anything different outside of the fact they looked like they were executing the way that they intend to play their defense. And Andrew Brewer uses a lot of examples from that Heritage game where they did it correctly. And then he also contrasts in those same little videos, and they're great because they're only about 50 seconds each. He shows moments earlier in the season, a lot of goals against in Minnesota, where the breakdowns were. And for the Nugent-Hopkins haters out there, they're going to be like, hey, Nugent-Hopkins doesn't know how to play defense. Well, there's other guys who made egregious mistakes on those plays, but it just so happens that Nugent-Hopkins in this zone defense faltered quite a bit, especially in that Minnesota game. But there were other breakdowns as well. It's a great way to see and understand how the system is supposed to work. And, this Andrew Brewer talks about this being, it's a system that works and that the Oilers do have the personnel that can execute it. It's just a matter of understanding how to properly play your zone, how to transition to different guys, and how to pass off the right guy and know where the pressure points are. So if they're actually figuring this out and they're executing this zone defense properly, then that should be an improvement as well. So I think if they can handle the Stars tomorrow well, a Stars team that's playing tonight in Calgary, Jake Ottinger is playing
playing tonight,
against the Flames as well, then we could be like, all right, they're in the right path. I think they need to win tomorrow for us to feel really good about them going into Saturday's afternoon game against Nashville. But
I think you feel good about that game no matter what because it's against Nashville and they absolutely own them.
Yeah,
but
I know. But you want to have a little momentum here. And then the one thing I will say, too, talking to these guys the last couple of days, especially following up on that Heritage Classic game, and Vinny Desharnais said it again yesterday. He's like, that was Oilers hockey. Like, that felt like the way we played.
They were just so much more aggressive defensively, man.
It was like we felt like we played, and that was more to our identity, in short.
All right, parts of the Oil Stream are presented to you by One Putt. Got a nice little tweet here about One Putt that I'll get to in just a second. But if you're like, what's One Putt? Tell me about One Putt, guys. Well, if you have golf clubs, One Putt's the place for you. Brand new facility. 6 TrackMan bays, same technology that they're using on the PGA Tour. So you're not going in and you're not slumming it here. You're going in, you're hitting on these TrackMan bays. Perfect spot for group events, birthday parties, Christmas parties, any type of party you want to do. Night out with the boys, date night, whatever. Great spot to catch an Oilers game as well if you want to go watch an Oilers game. They're located at 6816 178th Avenue, north end of Edmonton. Kid-friendly place with free arcade, complimentary snacks, and a large selection of adult beverages to go along with that as well. And shout out to Ian, who went to One Putt.
Nice.
And tweets at me and goes, unreal time at One Putt with YAG office space this past weekend. So this sounds like a guy who took his company or went with his company on a little business trip. over to one putt. It says, shout out to the fellas at Yag Sports Talk for the recommendation. He called it a reco. It's kind of neat. I feel like we're in the trader business now. Like,
I like it.
It was a boiler room where they had to yell reco if they got a deal. Yeah, definitely a great spot to keep the swing in shape. Will be back.
Nice.
Hashtag TrackMan. Hashtag 2 accurate. Hashtag 4 right. Those are some great golf tags. But this is great to see. And this is a guy who obviously listens to some of the stuff that we're plugging here. And he went and checked out One Putt. And this just goes to show that advertising at Edmonton Sports Talk works. So that's really nice. You can check that out and go visit them. And like we said, you can actually take the family, take the kids. They got the complimentary arcade games.
Free
and
arcade.
A whole lot more as well.
Not quarter munching.
I don't know if you're allowed to just go in and play the free arcade, though.
You might need to buy a beverage or something.
Yeah, or do something. They got adult beverages there and everything.
It's not like
a pretty good time.
Not like in junior high where you'd go to like the convenience store across the street from your school and you'd just like put quarters down to play the pinball machine. I used to do that.
Did you?
Yeah, it was fun.
Really?
And you'd have like a bunch of guys playing Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
I would always hit the pinball machine.
You guys over there all the time?
All the time, and you'd buying snacks and stuff. Glengarry Foods is what it was called, by St. Cecilia.
We used to whip up in my Ford Taurus. I'd take about 5 or 6 of us, and we'd either play basketball on my driveway. I had a great like glass backboard, chain mesh, like just awesome.
Oh, the nice
or
sound.
we'd hit, I think it was PlayStation 2 at the time. And we go up and play some PlayStation 2 at my place because I live like 5 minutes from the school, so it wasn't too bad. That was always pretty nice. All right, so we got some breaking news in the National Hockey League. Let's get to this right now. Not Oilers related. I do want to get to the Canucks and the Kings. Division may be shaping up to be a little bit better than we thought it was going to be. So
Perhaps.
we'll get into that a little bit. But if you have any messages for us, hit us up 780-218-9999. Any questions, any comments, whatever you got, 780-218-9999, or hit us up in the nasty chat as well. Looks like there's a potato chip discussion going on over there right now. This is out there. Pierre Dorion is out after 8 seasons as the general manager of the Ottawa Senators. Press conference coming up here in about 35 minutes time. They just lost a first-round pick for not properly clarifying the no-trade clause in the Dodonov deal.
Yeah.
Shane Pinto has been suspended. But I don't think this is anything that's just happening right now. Like with the ownership coming in and Staios being there, this is what we've expected to see happen for quite some time. So in no way is this surprising to me at all. Is it at all surprising to you? Or
no? And this announcement with the forfeited first rounder, I think it just gives them the reason to do what they probably intended to do all along.
Like an easy out on top of everything?
Yeah, exactly. And listen, that is a harsh penalty for a major F up. And we knew that there was going to be change. And this team has kind of been stuck in neutral for a while, but it does have a good base that Dorion's put in place. He's gotten guys signed to long-term deals that seem pretty team-friendly. And now with Andlauer at the helm and Steve Staios as the president, they can get their guys in and start basically using this year as a head start to their vision and their rebuild, taking the next step in the rebuild. So this is an easy pivot point for that new ownership group and hockey ops department. We saw Daniel Alfredson coming in, and even when that was announced and some of the new hires, it was like the sign that there was a philosophy shift. And I use the term philosophy shift because when we look at what the Oilers doing, bringing it back home, when Tyler Wright was sent out and the new guy was brought in, that's a philosophy shift. That's a signal that the next step is coming, and that's
it's happening, right?
First way to show it publicly.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and goes, "Oh, not Dorion. He didn't have enough time." Like this guy had more, and he's put some good pieces in place. I mean, he hasn't built a winner just yet, but he brought in Tkachuk, he brought in Timmy Stützle, brought in Josh Norris,
Sanderson,
brought in. How long? When did Chabot get drafted? When did Sir Thomas Chabot get drafted?
Sir Thomas Chabot, I think he's part of that.
He's part of that too. Yeah. Sanderson, he's brought in a pretty good group, like a good nucleus, a good core for this next group. But this is how it works. You'll see it all the time. We saw it here, but one guy builds it, the other guy comes in and either takes it to the next level or completely screws the entire thing up.
Yeah.
So, not surprising news in any way. Now, can you go take advantage of them in some sort of deal? Probably not.
I don't think so.
No.
Rick Precy's the guy who came in for Tyler
That's
Wright,
right.
by the way. Just want to clarify that.
Ottawa Senators making changes. Dusty, they're not potato chips these guys are talking about. They're corn chips. No wonder they get no respect. I'm not a big corn chip guy myself.
I don't mind corn chips.
Really?
Yeah, the right
I don't
flavor.
think I've ever this isn't even an exaggeration. I'm pretty sure if we saw every receipt I've ever had in my entire life, have never paid for corn chips.
I have. They're good. But not. It's not like a go-to staple. Every now and then, you want something different. Barbecue corn chips.
Barbecue corn chips.
Yeah.
A little bit of kick to them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I like the texture of a corn chip.
It's good. It's different. Not greasy either.
For ketchup chip lovers, Ridgie's, hands down.
Ridgie's.
Never heard of Ridgie's
Me
before.
neither.
Sorry.
Okay.
Russell McQuat in the Nasty Chat says, the only thing I'm going to say about Brown is the following. How on earth can a performance bonus be just 10 games played? It's a bit of a joke with no incentive to actually contribute.
They just need to work their way around the CBA to get the guy paid to bring him in.
Yeah, that's exactly
it.
what that is.
Yeah.
I don't think this was ever, no, he's not going to hit these. And this is why you give this guy, basically, I mean, I also gave you a little bit of coverage if he came back out and blew something again right away and was out.
Yep.
But yeah, this was not them being like, we don't know if he can make it.
No,
it was
not at all,
straight
no.
up, he's going to play it. How can we push that cap money to next year?
Yes.
And
Straight up.
When it's really the only change you made, it is outside of losing guys, right?
And your system.
And your system. But, I mean, to be determined, the results on that one.
Tomorrow will be a good tell.
In order to get anybody of his caliber with what they had left, they had to structure the deal like this, right? So, not ideal, but once again, it comes back to what we were talking about with not having any other healthy bodies you can put into the lineup. They're so screwed by the salary cap, and not by the, like, everybody deals with salary cap. I didn't mean that they're screwed by it. They screwed themselves with the salary cap and poor mismanagement of it. That in order to get a guy that you think could end up being maybe a guy who's worth $3 or $4 million to you, you had to structure the contract this way. And now it's not looking great just yet, but in 50 games, maybe you're looking at it going, you know, that's not the end of the world next year.
If Connor Brown had 3 or 4 points right now, we're not having this discussion at all.
No, of course not.
That's it.
But he has 0.
He has 0, and he's -5 with 11 shots. 3 or 4, and it would have been just fine. And people would be like, well, you know, he's showing signs. Hasn't happened yet.
A Dorito is a corn chip.
Yeah.
You just never bought Doritos? What are you talking about? It's just a folded up corn chip? A Dorito's a flattened out. What are we talking about? A corn chip.
It's a corn
It's got to be a little bit
tortilla.
different.
It's a tortilla.
But they're shaped differently, correct? Am I not thinking what a corn chip is?
You're overthinking this. A corn chip.
I'm rattled by the corn chip
Some
thing.
of those corn chips are like curved, you know, or the hoops or something.
Can somebody text us a picture of a corn chip?
Do we have anybody here that works for a chip company by any chance?
Well, that's what they're doing here, yeah. Russell says, but how can we say he's going to be worth $4 million with that bad of an injury?
If he gets 40 points and they make the playoffs and he's in the top 9, I don't think people are making a big stink. I think this is me looking and knowing Oilers fans and the media. If he has a 40-point season and he's in the top 9 and he makes $4 million, and people, all right, got the Iwanics. Hi, ladies.
Maddie has 2 daughters we didn't know about? My God.
His brother Mike is right there.
I know, Tommy.
They're adorable.
It was a joke.
They're adorable. They're cute. If he has 40 points, there would be people and media here going, well, they did pay $4 million for him. Could he have? He should have gotten 50. Yes, and I understand that. But I think if he still gets that 40 points, gives you solid top 9 minutes, is not a dash.
You still
5.
think he can get them 40 points?
I think so.
I don't.
There's so much hockey left to be played.
Yeah, but 40 points in like
Yes.
72 games is a pretty good clip, man. Do you want to make a friendly bet on it right now?
Sure.
shake hands, and we're shaking
corn
hands.
Chips?
Look, if he gets 40 points, I will buy you corn chips. I will purchase corn chips for the first time in my life.
What do I have to get you?
Cool Ranch Doritos, just
Done.
like you did at the game. All right, this is the Cool Ranch Dorito corn chip bet. Connor Brown doesn't get 40 points this season. I say he doesn't. You say he does.
He does, yeah.
All right, deal. That's in. That's it.
See.
Somebody write that down. Surveyor Brett, put it in your phone so we remember when Connor Brown ends up with 31 points that I get a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos.
I will get you the family-sized.
From Tommy Gazzola.
Yeah.
See, yeah, this is what I was imagining. Those look like, what is it? It's like it's left. Corn chips look like leftover Doritos. Like just pieces that broke off and they decided to put in another bag.
Corn chips.
That's the brand corn chips.
Now,
those are the corn chips I was imagining.
Doritos, are they flour tortillas or are they corn tortillas? Right?
You're asking the wrong guy,
Yeah,
man. I don't work for
I
them.
love them. They're delicious.
Anyway, why don't you go get some chips, go to One Putt, hit a few balls, discuss things with your buddies, and all in all, have a pretty good time. One Putt Virtual Golf. Check them out. All right, parts of the Oil Stream also brought to you by our great partners over at Boston Pizza, where they're just giving away specials. That's all that happens. When you're watching the Oilers at Boston Pizza, you're getting $5 off medium pizzas, $1 off tankers of Canadian Coors Light, $5.50 shots of Fireball, Jaeger, Burt Reynolds, Purple Rain, and Honey Jack.
Boom.
Every single Oilers game, home game, road game, doesn't matter. Boston Pizza Lounge. Go in, save yourself. Let's just say, if I said, Tommy, let's share a medium pizza.
Yep.
And let's each have 3 tankards. We would be saving ourselves $11.
Nice.
How about the math on that?
That's good. You did it very quickly.
Yeah, it's just always flying around in there.
That's
right?
a good thing. Like when you get a bill that's less than you expected it to be, even though you had a nice stay at whatever location you happen to be at, whatever watering hole food place, like that's the best feeling. It's like, oh, that's it? Oh, great. BP's has crazy good deals. That's awesome.
Gord says, Dusty left Tommy hanging on the first handshake.
Yeah, he did.
Just to show him up. I didn't know. I went to talk again.
You were talking.
I was talking again.
I put my hand down.
You think you draw better goalie masks than me?
Yeah. I enhanced yours.
I'm not even going to say whose is whose. I'm just going to say which goalie mask is better. Oh, by the way, you can now go vote on the draft.
Yes, I.
Can you look that up?
Reposted.
Look it up. See what the results are there. We might as well. We got 10 minutes left
we
in
got
our
10
day
minutes.
here at
Let's
Edmonton
have a
Sports Talk. We can dive into this a little bit.
look.
Remember, we can't say who's who.
Right. That's obviously against the rules. All right. I know who I'm voting for. And number 4 is killing it right now.
Number 4 is killing it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go take a peek. I got to take a peek at this thing.
Yep.
Number 4 is killing it.
That's right.
What's the percentage at right now?
Like 54%.
54%.
And number 1 is having a tough go right now. That's all I'll say. But not the worst.
Interesting results here. It's early. There's only 50 votes in there, but we'll see if it swings.
Number 3 is a tire fire and a disaster. I should add, with that void in there.
Look, man, number 3's team, even with the void, is a bad team. I'm sorry.
It is a bad
They
team.
did not draft a good team. They just didn't draft a good team.
Not at all. Get those votes in. These are hilarious. I love how quickly Awanik did the graphics and switched over from the old station to the new station look. It's very clean. Well done, Awanik. Commish.
Chris is saying, is number 4 the one with the voided pick? No, the one with the voided pick is tied for last right now. So
Shouldn't be.
You can pop over there.
Should be.
You know, I guess we can talk about this.
Yeah, we can.
We just can't go on Twitter and be like, vote for this.
No,
or that.
exactly. That's true.
Okay, well, I'm killing it right now then.
I am not killing it right now.
I think just starting with Mr. Miyagi, Ted Lasso, and Mickey from Rocky in your top 3 open sports. And then Gordon Bombay is a clear win in the hockey category.
Win. Yeah.
And that might be the one that made the most difference. If you look at the hockey categories across the board, if you just go measure it across the board. By the way, this does look really nice, the blue and the yellow.
It does look great.
I don't even know who your hockey coach is.
From Goon.
I've watched Goon like once.
He's a Canadian guy.
It doesn't matter to me.
Man.
Eric took a villain as his hockey coach, and Milne took Herb Brooks and I got Gordon freaking Bombay.
Yeah. I thought the speech and the villain and the assistant coach would play a bigger factor.
What did you start with your 4-5 swing?
I went with
Speech?
assistant and speech.
Yeah, that's
Because,
quite the
because
assistant coach.
It's
Coach
Slim
Beard.
Pickens, right?
I had Coach Beard.
He's good.
Where's my list?
He's great.
I had Coach
There's no
Beard.
Ted Lasso without Coach Beard.
My assistant coach rankings were Brickma, who I ended up getting.
Yeah.
And then Coach Beard.
Coach Beard's
And
great.
then Roy Kent.
Yeah. I only knew Roy Kent as the player because he retired in the show.
He retired. He went on TV for a bit. Then he came in as assistant coach and did a really good job at it.
I haven't followed all the seasons of Ted Lasso, so I didn't know that.
Penner's Pancake says, it was Patches, Dusty. I do have Patches
That was a
O'Houlihan,
great
too.
pick. I was hoping I would get Patches O'Houlihan.
That was when I was really able to kind of build up a bit and be like,
Yeah.
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge
Yeah,
a
that was
ball,
a good
Tommy
moment.
Gazzola.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're over there dropping excellent Rockies impressions, so it works out pretty
It was
well
fun.
as well.
That was so much fun again.
Dusty, this was an all-time draft for you. Absolutely destroyed everyone else, and it's not even close. This might be your best work yet.
Wow.
The best ever is our draft of GOATs.
Ah,
And I think I finished with almost 70% of the vote in the draft of GOATs.
That's pretty
it was,
impressive.
But you guys let me get – were you in the draft of GOATs?
No.
No, I was Jameson, Eric, me. I can't remember who else was in the draft of GOATs. But I somehow came away with it, like with Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods
that's
or something
huge.
along
That's
those lines.
huge.
Like it was pretty ridiculous.
Someone texted in an FAQ about Doritos. How are they made? Did you know that Doritos are actually made out of corn? The process first starts by cooking corn, which is then ground up to make a dough called masa. This masa is then flattened and cut into our iconic triangle shape. These triangles are cooked and then perfectly seasoned to make your favorite Doritos. And, they are my favorite Doritos.
Yeah, well, Jerry works for them and sliding my DMs and said it's a corn chip made with corn, canola, and sunflower oil.
I love it.
Yeah. Jackson Hill in the Nasty Chat says, taking Coach Beard and not securing Ted Lasso even rounds later was a meatloaf-level mistake.
Well played.
You'll never get over – like, you've got a few. Like, the meatloaf one, that was Christmas dinner,
That
right?
was, yeah.
And then the Guinness one for summer drinks. Those are two of the
boy.
all-time greatest draft picks.
Those were moments. Those were moments.
They live on in infamy.
Yeah,
Like,
and
10 years from now,
I
we can
can't
look
deny
back and do a draft of all, like, the most memorable draft moments. And Meatloaf is going to be a first-rounder. Like,
and
it's-
the best was when I told my mom about this draft, and I said, I took Christmas meatloaf. Didn't we used to have meatloaf at Christmas? She's like, are you crazy? Meatloaf at Christmas?
How did you even think of that then?
I got it confused. Like, we never had meatloaf.
What you
very
getting
often.
confused with? Because there's no other holiday where you're also having meatloaf.
Hang on. It was because at Christmas, my grandma or my mom would make a lasagna.
Okay.
And I always assumed that there was a meatloaf at some point. And I love meatloaf because every now and then my mom would make one. Like, I love this. And I didn't know how, like, frequently meatloaf is a family dinner type of thing. So it's nothing special. But we didn't really have it very often. So whenever we had it, I was like, oh, meatloaf. And I assumed that because of the lasagna that my grandma or my mom would make, there was a meatloaf somewhere involved with that. And it was special because we barely ever had it. And I think I mistakenly selected it that way. And that's on me. I've learned. I've repented. And then I continue to make blunders at drafts.
I put up the goalie mask drawings. It
How's
says,
that?
which goalie mask looks better? That's it. I didn't say it was I drew one or both or you drew both. And Oil City Dynasty says the right side one.
Ew.
Which is mine. Don't say ew. And then, Bubba says, nice welding masks, which is kind of what you thought of mine.
Yeah, but I enhanced yours too.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. All right, so what type of test are we looking at? We'll have an oil stream on Friday, recapping the Oilers and Dallas Stars. What time's pregame happening tomorrow?
Pregame is 5:30 tomorrow, 7 o'clock start. Listen, this is an important game for the Oilers. This is the test to see if what they did on Sunday in the Heritage Classic, them feeling like they are back to being the Oilers that everybody came to know and love the last couple of seasons, we'll know tomorrow. And yes, it is Dallas coming off a game tonight against Calgary at the Saddle Dome. Can this team take advantage of the Oilers? Can they take advantage? Can they incorporate and continue to improve their system, play in their own zone? If they do, I think that's a big check mark for them going into Saturday's matinee. If they struggle again and they get exposed and the movement in the defensive zone from the Stars ruffles them up and gets them all twisted around and they leave their goalies hanging, then we're back to square one and we're going, okay, they clearly, Sunday was an anomaly. They've got work to do. They're in trouble. I think it's fair to make that statement today.
Who is going to be their goalie?
It's weird because I saw yesterday it was Skinner working predominantly in the starters
net.
We're clearly not at practice today. I didn't see any of the posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, to indicate who was in the starters net.
It's really weird to zone Campbell out for 10 days when he'd been playing so well.
But you give him – I'm okay with this. You need somebody to start running with it. You've played 2 games. That's it. They've had a very soft schedule in terms of amount of time between games. If Campbell plays Saturday afternoon, I'm fine with it. He gives them a good afternoon, and then you can create a rotation.
So you would go back to Skinner against Dallas?
I have no issue with it because I think he's put together 2 really good games.
I don't think I really care either way.
Yeah.
I think they've both been.
I think we're overthinking it, but that's fun. That's part of the fun.
There's nothing better, though, than having a good who should start debate.
Yeah.
And usually for the longest time, it's been because guys suck. But now you can almost have a who should start debate because both guys are playing relatively well, even if the numbers aren't crazy off the charts. KGill97 says it's Skinner, guys. Was that confirmed by Woodcroft today, or was it just he's in starters? I haven't seen yet. He's in starters net again today.
I haven't seen yet
because I think we learned earlier in the year that not necessarily the starters thing with it. Starters net. All right, that's going to do it. This was a fun day. This was a long day, banging out 7 straight hours.
Now we have to go into meetings.
Yeah, well, we got staff meeting coming up. Now the agenda for the meeting, it's up there. It's not. Well, our meetings usually. I'm glad we have these meetings. We usually talk about a lot of really important stuff.
Yeah, we do.
When we first started doing it, somebody's like, "You should have meetings at least once every 2 weeks." I was like, "Okay, we'll try that."
HR Daddy said that.
No, not HR Daddy.
I like when HR Daddy emails us.
Yeah.
And he signs it HR Daddy.
Yeah.
Hi, HR Daddy.
He's fully bought in.
He's awesome.
I think he wants to move up here and then being in the office once or twice a week.
Oh, man.
Which probably not going to happen. But yeah, we might see a little bit more of him kicking around.
Excellent.
All right. What was that?
The cap to your bottle.
Oh, yeah, I got those laying all over the place. Sorry, buddy. My bad. Hey, Oilers Stars tomorrow night. If you want to bet that, you know where you're betting it. You're betting it with everything else that we're betting. Over at Cool Bet, we do have some exclusives that has popped up there from the Lock Shop earlier on today as well. So you can get in on that if you want to. And when you sign for an account at Cool Bet, use the code Lock Shop, and you get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit all the way up to $200. And if you are listening to the Oil Stream podcast at any time, make sure you sub to all of our other podcasts, The Nielsen Show, The Hangout, The Lock Shop, Two Guys and the Goalie, as we're churning out that good content. Join us live every day at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. You can watch, you can listen, and, of course, you can now listen on the TuneIn app as well, and maybe some more options for you in the near future. Tommy, get us out of here, buddy.
Awesome. Lots of fun today. Thank you to everyone who stuck around all day or who popped in for a little bit of time. We appreciate you. Thank you for helping us get to over 5,000 subs. That's awesome. Clutch, we did it yesterday or the day before, so we got it in before November. Keep subscribing if you don't already. Smash that thumbs up button, and looking forward to tomorrow's game. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We out for today.